Pranam, with your permission and blessings, Swamiji. Very good evening, namaskaram to all of you. I'm deeply honored to be here to address students of BGS, and thank you for inviting me here today to have the pleasure of meeting not just the Swamiji, but all you young students. Sports and lessons beyond the game. A topic that is extremely close to my heart because sports serves as a microcosm of life, something that is small yet extremely impactful. It reflects from its challenges, triumphs, and the skills necessary to navigate life itself. When I began my journey at the age of 8 or 9, little did I realize that it would lead me to where I am today. I started running purely because I loved it. It gave me freedom to be on the track, but also there was a coach who bribed me for every round I ran with the Nutrien sweets. And little did I realize that the Nutrien sweets led its way to medals and awards, and it's taken me almost 2 decades of being on the tracks and realizing that the lessons of life that I have learned on the track is far beyond the 4 walls of the classrooms. From my journey as a young child to becoming the Bangalore school champion, to becoming the state champion, to becoming the national champion, and to ultimately dream of being India's representative at the 1988 Olympics. It's been a long journey. Success doesn't come easily. It's tedious, it's challenging, it's sometimes even boring to continue to do what you have to do to achieve the ultimate goal. And from moving on from athletics to being a banker for 15 odd years, to getting into Special Olympics where I trained the mentally challenged children, to becoming an artist, to a mother, to an educationist now, and also running my own foundation. The journey has been fantastic. In hindsight, I think what guides me even today in life is the mantras that I learned as an athlete on the track. And the first and foremost mantra would be to identify the interest that gives you joy. As a young child, collecting those sweets were not enough. But that interest that brought joy was being nurtured by a team that I trusted the most. So for me, it's important to share with you that for all of us, and you, especially the youth, making your interest, your passion is important. Identifying that interest is important. Most often we hear people talk about passion, but only your action to that interest will drive passion. It is through that action that you will achieve your goals that you have set. And merely having interest and passion is not enough. For all of us in life, there must be a purpose. For me in athletics, there was a purpose that I set out to achieve. There was a roadmap that I and my team defined. And to lead that path, I had to have that purpose. So the second and most important thing is when you find interest is to have purpose in life. Purpose towards that interest. And with purpose comes planning, dedication, setting goals, and taking responsibility. It's very often we see young students who want to jump one after the other, really looking to gain success immediately. It doesn't happen that way. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes your responsibility and accountability to every step. My dream was to represent the country at the Olympic Games. But before I reached the ultimate dream and the goal, I had to walk every step with commitment and dedication. Even my practice sessions on that day, sometimes I would feel bored to even get onto the track because my body was not willing to do it. But that's the effort, the mental resilience that is built to achieve that larger goal is important. So how we achieve every day's training, and for you, and every day's work that is allotted to you, how well you do it, how responsibly you do it, is very, very important. And then, after that, to achieve the ultimate goal, those steps that you take with your core team, or the team, the most confident person that shares your dream, it's important that we work together to achieve that. There are so many things that change all the time and constantly. Circumstances may change. The weather conditions that I ran in changed. The track conditions that I ran in changed. The housing conditions that we were put up in changed. And it's very important, especially for young children today, because you all will not rug it out like the way we rugged out. I couldn't afford a pair of spikes. It took my PE teacher to go to Sri Lanka because she was a Sri Lankan to buy me a spikes. I didn't have money to travel by first class, AC, or second tier. We were all thrown in unreserved compartments representing the country. We didn't have money then. But the resilience, the courage, and the willingness to face failures was what drove us to the ultimate goal. Today, often the word failure comes with fear, comes with disappointment. I want all you young students to embrace failures. It is a part of our life's journey. And the way you embrace it, the quicker you realize that with every failure, you evaluate, you reflect, and you learn from it. So failure is just one particular event and not the person you are. This failure will allow you to learn and to approach your next step more efficiently. Along with this comes pressure. Today, I think everybody talks of pressure and the mental well-being of every young child. For us as an athlete, especially for athletics, when you're running an individual sport, you are on that track all by yourself, alongside your competitors, and you just have the finish line looking, staring at you. We don't have our teammates next to us. We don't have our coaches next to us. You got to deliver. And that's pressure. Because 365 days you're training for an 11-second race. 365 days you're training to deliver your best. It may not happen on that particular day. Because if we didn't have failures and life was easy, all of us would have been winners all the time. But what is important is how you control your emotions, how you are able to focus because you are capable of doing it. You have trained that 365 days. You know what you have delivered in training. And that's when you deliver when the gun takes off. So it's a lot of pressure that takes, but you have to develop it. And this can be developed only when you do not have the fear of failure. Otherwise, you will never attempt anything in life. And I think that's a very, very important aspect for all young children. Success does not come because you're smarter, you're faster. It comes from having positive habits. That's very important, and one must develop it and practice it. For every champion and every successful individuals, not just famous people, but individuals who have made their life successful and fulfilling, failures have come through their journey too. It could be just our mothers who have held on to our family and made us what we are. It can be anybody. It can be you in a certain aspect of life that you have struggled and emerged successfully. So the 4 important C's that guides me even today is competence, commitment, consistency, and above all, character. Competency comes with your constant preparation and upskilling. Commitment comes with discipline, focus, and never letting your guard down. Consistency comes with practice and evaluation of yourself at every stage of your life with regard to the goals that you have set. And above all, character. For me, this is very important. It's not just about who we are on the outside, but who we are on the inside. It's our values, our principles, the way we treat people. And across board, every day we make these choices to test our character. Will you stand up for what is right, even when it is the most difficult? Will you show kindness to someone in need? Respect one another, even if you do not like them, or who doesn't even agree with your views. Taking responsibility for your action, being honest. Somewhere along this selfish world and a very, very competitive environment, we seem to have lost our ways in many of these aspects. And I want you all to consciously tread this path. For all of us who have achieved in our different fields, milestones is just 0.01%. 99.9% is the journey of life, and that determines with your character and with the goals and the manner you set out to do things. As Mahatma Gandhi rightly said, you must be the change you wish to see in this world. You all of us are change agents in society. How we contribute towards the larger good is the most important factor. And finally, to close, I cannot, as a sportsman, close without saying how important physical fitness and mental fitness is. It is very, very important for all of you, young, old, who are listening to this. Dedicate at least an hour of your time for your physical fitness. The common saying, a sound mind is found in a sound body, is so apt. We are so driven by our gadgets today that we really don't take time to look at ourselves and to even think that it's time to take responsibility for yourself. So finally, every success is hard, it's laborious, tedious, but a fit mind and a fit body can achieve whatever you set out to do. In closing, I'd like to say to all young students, make small goals, make smart choices, be consistent, take responsibility, value your time, and keep building character. Then you will see the radical difference in your journey. Thank you once again, and wishing you all a very fulfilling and joyous journey of life. Thank you. Namaskaram.
My deepest regards to Dr. Nirmalanand Swamiji, who is himself, and in itself he is an institution and a great change maker in the society. Distinguished members of the audience and young and ignited minds. Today is 20th January, and 20th January is a very significant date in the history of United States. After 7 hours, 47th President of United States is going to swear in. 64 years back, on 20th January 1961, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, in his inaugural speech, he challenged the citizens of USA, saying, "Ask not what the country can do for you, but what you can do for the country." And that is the thing. Each one of us, each citizen of our country also need to think that what we are doing to make our country great, what we are doing to bring positive changes in the society. To me, there is not a big or great recipe for making or bringing change in the society. I feel whichever job, whatever job we have assigned, we should take it seriously and do it sincerely. You will be able to bring a lot of changes in the society. Like from my own experience, I can say, like when I was ASP at Bailongal in Belgaum district, I don't know how many of you know the name of the place. It was known for murders, contractual murders. I was scared when I went to that place. But I did nothing extra. Just I thought I have come as young ASP, young Assistant Superintendent of Police, and my job is to prevent crime, maintain law and order, and I did that. And I controlled the thing, and after that, Now it is more than 26 years, and bilingual has become quite peaceful compared to so many other places. Then I moved to so many other places like Chitradurga, Gulbarga, Davangere. Then I came to Bangalore city. So wherever, like maybe rowdy elements, again when I was in Gulbarga, then Bhima river flows through Gulbarga district. Later on I went to that area, Bhima river belt as IG of Belgaum range, and the place like Chadchan and Almel and Sindhgi, the notorious places which was known as killing fields of Karnataka. There also I tried to bring peace in that area, and that peace is still existing and subsisting in that area. So what I want to say, I did nothing extra. Like to bring change in the society, you don't want like need to go extra miles. Just tiny steps by numerous citizens, it can bring a lot of change in the society. And charity begins at home. First, we can start with whatever like in our home, inside our home, in our neighborhood. Doing small things like cleanliness, clean and green neighborhood. Then waste disposal, waste management, how to handle plastics. These are the things which is minimum civic sense it involves. Thereafter, we can go, like we can say that community participation, plantation activity you can go, blood donation you can do. Later on, organ donation, you can place your organs. These are the things. Then you can support the cause of helping orphans or helping senior citizens, helping persons with differently abled persons. So these things, and supporting the cause of gender equality. Then eradicating the practice of untouchability. These things, these causes you can support. And this, as a students, like there are causes like action against drug abuse, alcoholism, smoking. So I think you can support these causes, and you are not going to lose anything by doing this thing. You are not doing at the cost of losing anything. Simply doing your job while you are studying, you can bring about these changes. But any change in the society, that is not without any challenge or difficulties or sacrifices. Because system as such, whether it is bureaucracy or otherwise, is a status quoist. If you want to change the system, if you want to bring about the changes, there will be certain vested interests who are enjoying the power, privilege, and position. They don't want that balance of power or the existing power structure that should be disrupted or disturbed. They will go to any extent to stop, to prevent such changes. The history is replete with examples of starting from Jesus Christ, who was crucified by Romans. John Wilkes Booth, he assassinated John Abraham Lincoln, who was a very reformist American president. John F. Kennedy, he was assassinated by Lee Harvey Oswald. Martin Luther King Jr., he was killed by James Earl Ray because he tried to he raised his voice against racial discrimination in the United States. When we come to India, Mahatma Gandhi was assassinated by Nathuram Godse. So history is replete that if you want to bring the change, you should be ready for sacrifice. If you want to bring the change, you should be ready for suffering. The quantity of the quantum of change you want to intend to bring about, maybe the risk involved is as huge, as big. So that is one thing. And I've seen that in India or any country, there is lack of political will when it comes to bring about large scale or perceptible changes. Because sometimes the political parties, they don't want to lose their core constituencies. And at the cost of their core constituency, they don't want to bring any major change in the society. That is the unfortunate part. But things are changing. Things have been changing. Apart from that, our country is having wide diversity, whether it is linguistic, whether it is language, whether it is region, whether it is culture. So any uniform prescription for changes, that also becomes very difficult in our society. Similarly, lack of education, and especially quality education. That is one impediment, because when you are underqualified, you are not literate, you are not having understanding, then it is very easy to manipulate those people, to incite them so that they resist or they try to prevent any changes. That is very prevalent in our country because so many people even now, they don't have that understanding. Similarly, our belief, our orthodox belief, our customs, these things also, they sometimes become an impediment in bringing about the change in our society. We should acknowledge, we should appreciate the agents of change in our society. We should support them when they need your support. Because when you support such elements, then only they will encourage to go forward, to take risk and bring changes in the society. There is a case of Satyendra Kumar Dubey. I don't know how many of you have heard his name. Satyendra Kumar Dubey. He was an IIT graduate from IIT Kanpur, civil engineering graduate, and he was killed in 2003. For what? Because he tried to stop the corruption in Golden Quadrilateral project in Kodarma. He was killed in Gaya district of Bihar in 2003. An IITian, he was killed because he wanted to bring about some change in the society. In 2005 November, 19th of November precisely, Sanmugam Manjunath, who hails from Kolar district of Karnataka and studied in Jai Chamrajan Institute of Engineering, Mysore. He was killed in Lakhimpur Kheri because he went and tried to stop one adulteration of fuel at one power station, and there only he was killed by the goons. He was product of IIM Lucknow. So just see that our people in recent times also, in the 21st century also, they have been paying, they have made sacrifices. But our country, it is changing. Like we are seeing that there are a lot of changes in the sense that our scientific discoveries, the investment in science and tech, the use of technology, that has been increasing. Digitization and digital transformation, that is very much required. That is a very easy means of transforming the society. Because the more it is digitized, our society is digitized, whether it is land records, whether it is e-khata, whether it is our certificates, whether it is license, anything, the more it will reduce the level of corruption in the society. It will bring more transparency, more accountability in the society. So technology is a big game changer. And so there should be wider and deeper penetration of society, like technology in our society. The more we make it popular, the more I think our society will become more transparent. It will and our bureaucrats, the person sitting in the government, they will become more responsible and more accountable. Because UPI, you have seen, UPI United Payment Interface System, it has bring a huge change in the whole scenario. Like even the other countries, they are just feeling jealous of India that how such a big quantity and a big large scale we have been managed to have this digital transaction, and that too seamlessly and without any difficulty. And then there are so many issues in our country like gender inequality, that is gender empowerment, women empowerment. Then the practice of untouchability, bonded labor, child labor. In some quarters still it is existing. And I think that it is our bounden duty that we should contribute like the citizens. We should form a pressure group on the government, on the legislature, to bring about some legislations which prevent there are acts, there are so many laws, but implementation is very important. So even bureaucracy, even police, even the political leadership, even the public representatives, we need to as citizen, we need to put pressure on those people. Now, there are so many whistleblowers. There are RTI activists. They bring about certain cases of corruption, there's some irregularity in the public domain. So those people, they are also instruments of change, because it is not an easy job to fight against high and mighty people. Their lives are also at risk. So we as a society, we must protect and we must support such type of people. Now in 21st century, we have seen that there is going to be tremendous change when it comes to India, that is Bharat. Like Swami is sitting here, like so many, I was discussing with the staff faculty, so many medical colleges, so many engineering colleges, and similar in Karnataka, there are so many education institutions coming up. In other parts of country, IIMs, AIMS, IITs, there is a huge number in every nook and corner of the country, it is coming up. But we require qualitative education, and that too at affordable cost. Because qualitative education only, that does not suffice. If it is not affordable for the person, from the weaker section of society, then probably the disparity, the economic disparity, that will increase. So we need to make our education system qualitative, and at the same time, it should be cost affordable. If we make our people more aware, enlightened, definitely they are going to contribute in the betterment of the society. Similarly, so many groups are there in our country, like NGOs, non-profit organization like Lions Club, organization like Rotary Club. They are doing yeoman service. They are organizing so many camps, blood camps, eye donation camp. Then they for helpers for poor, destitutes, beggars, orphans, senior citizens, differently abled persons. So at personal level and different level, people, they are doing carrying out so many good activities. In educational field, one probably you will be aware of Super 30. Some of you must have heard the name of Super 30. That is a very good experiment and good example how the society can be changed by such type of initiative. Super 30 is an institution in Patna where students who are from the weaker section of society, but they are meritorious. Those people, they get admission, and most of them, they get into IITs. So they have that type of facility, and it has transformed the landscape so far as, I will say, weaker sections. I know so many people, they could not afford anything, but now their children, they are studying, and they have studied in prestigious IIT, whether it is IIT Kanpur, IIT Kharagpur, IIT Chennai, or IIT Mumbai. So the dreams of such people, they have been able to fulfill their dreams. They have been able to achieve their dreams. Similarly, now social media engagement. That is also very important thing in this age, because you people also sitting there, you can have your opinion about any issue. You can have your opinion about even public policy. You can have your opinion about any legislation. You can have your output or your opinion about any incident which has taken place in the society, like maybe some road rage, some case of crime, some case of crime against women, anything. You can express your anguish, you can express your anger about these things, and the government in this age, they will be forced to take note of such anguish, such public opinion. So that is also, I think, that working in a big way. And our country, I will say, in 21st century, there is deep tech involvement so far as nanotechnology is concerned, artificial intelligence and machine learning is concerned, then quantum computing is concerned, cloud computing is concerned, big data analysis is concerned, semiconductor technology is concerned. The investments in a big way is coming, even aviation sector, like a lot of cutting technology, we are trying our best to get it from France and other places. Now when we talk of space technology, India has taken giant strides in that field. So Chandrayaan, already it is on the moon. Gaganyaan in the offing. On 16th of January, SpaceX, that has been launched and successfully launched. That will provide you the facility of in orbit or in space, like a servicing facility of satellites. And it will also facilitate the Gaganyaan project or manned space project of India. So that way, India is taking strides. We cannot say it is the land of serpent charmers and the land of elephants. I was in Kosovo for one year. So all I was among Britishers, with among Germans, Italians, French, Spanish, those people. And for them, the identity of India, like they had given me souvenir. I have the t-shirt even now. So there they have shown me along with one snake charmer and one elephant. I am standing in between those people. So that is the mindset, that is the impression, that is the idea of India the other people they are having. But I think that they now need to change their mindset. They now need to take note of the advancements of India in technological field and scientific field. So in this field also, what I feel that there is need for more research, more innovation. Our Indian universities, though they are producing a lot of PhD, but I think the output, the quality output of research is not there. Like we hardly have some papers which can compete with the journals and other papers in the foreign countries. Here it is copy-paste research in mostly. I think I exhort that our people, that our students, they should go for something original, which contributes, which goes a long way in changing the society. So that way, probably in that direction also, in our country, steps will be taken. Then there are affirmative legislations. I was talking about that. There are cases like that legislations with regard to like SC/ST Act, that is Prevention of Atrocity Against SC/ST. Then there are public places of harassment, like Act regarding Sexual Harassment Act, public places. For women, now there are so many laws that it has come up. For disabled person also, for differently able person also, the laws have come up. For transgenders also there is legislation. So in every field there is legislation, but now it is onus on police, it is onus on administration that they effectively they implement such changes, implement such legislations, because merely having legislation, that does not suffice. So our country, I will say that definitely if our consolidated, concerted and that coordinated effort, energy and enthusiasm, it will propel India as a world superpower, but there is no room for complacency. We need to work harder and harder. Each of us, we need to contribute in betterment of our society, in improvement of our society, and in the growth and development of our country. If we do it, if we try our best, if do our best, and we give our best, definitely India will become a superpower. India, that is Bharat, it will attain its glory. And in the end, I will just say, this life is very precious. This life is unique. This life cannot be replicated. At the same time, it is ephemeral. It is transient. So we must utilize each and every moment of life to make it meaningful. To supplement it, I'll quote few lines from the poem by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, A Psalm of Life, that life is real, life is earnest, the grave is not its goal. Dust thou art to dust returnest, was not spoken of the soul. And finally, lives of great men all remind us we can make our life sublime, and departing leave behind us footprints on the sands of time. And I wish and hope that each of you, you leave imprints, you leave your footprints wherever you work, wherever you go, wherever you serve. Thank you so much. Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka.
Jai Shri Gurudev. My pranams to my Honorable Chancellor and Parama Pujya Guruji. Well, I am blessed to be here, and I am really blessed to stand in front of you with all humility and speak for the next 10 to 12 minutes about what I have gone through in my life, and as a doctor, what I have done to my patients. Is it okay with you guys? Right. We had prasadam. Let me tell you, when I came here as the Vice Chancellor, our Swamiji used to sell prasadam madan vandre. When I was a child, prasadam means only this much. I used to tell my Swamiji, tindi martin Swamiji, lunch martin inta. Now I understand. During the prasadam in the afternoon, he asked me, the third speaker, honored speaker for the evening, has become unwell and he has excused himself, and Swamiji told, can you take over and talk to our students and our youngsters for about 10-12 minutes? I was shaking and I said, I'll try my level best, Swamiji. Swamiji, I hope I'll do a good job. Now, let me talk to you people about lifespan and health span and living with diabetes, since I am a quintessential diabetologist by profession. What is lifespan and health span? How many of you want to live 100 years? I'm sure everybody will raise your hands. But some of you say, no, 80 years is good enough, sir. But to reach 80 years, you have to have on your backpack health. When our country got independence in 1947, the average lifespan of an Indian was 40 years. By the time 40 years came in his or her life, they would be going back to their makers. And today, it is about 70 plus. Most of you, 99.999, as Ashwini said, would live to see 70 years. But how many of you will be healthy? By the time you are 60, you are diabetic. By 65, a heart attack. By 67, a kidney transplant. By 69, blah, blah, blah. At the 70, 71, you will die. Do you need to suffer for 10, 12 years before you die? You have to take cognizance of that. But when lifespan was 40 years, most of the Indians would be healthy till 40 years. The next day they would be dead because of cholera or a viral infection, etc. like that. So very simple concept, I'll tell you youngsters. I keep telling my students, you all should write a 24-hour diary. Can you all do it? 24-hour diary, 6 a.m. to next 6 a.m., next day. Write down. And most of you who say, we do not have time, sir, we really don't get time to really do whatever we want, you will know you will be wasting 4 to 5 hours in a day. You can use that in the right manner. That's the first step I would like to give you. My wisdom out of the knowledge I have gathered and the informations, multitude of informations that have come my way. The second one is, there is a concept in medicine called as Life's Simple 7. Life's Simple 7. How do you keep your health is these 7 mantras if you want to talk about. The first one is wait. W-E-I-G-H-T, not W-A-I-T, don't wait. The second one is exercise. The third one is mental activity. Fourth one is blood pressure. Fifth one is blood glucose or blood sugar. Sixth one is no smoking. And the seventh one, popularly called in Kannada as halka halu. If you can have this life simple 7, you will all be healthy. You may not develop diabetes. In spite of getting diabetes, you can live healthily. Can you all do that? Yes, sir. Thank you. Now, I'll just give you 3 concepts of how to live with diabetes, whether you have or not. I remember when I started my practice as a diabetologist once upon a time, 40 years ago, one of the very first patients I had was an ICS, Indian Civil Service. It was called as Indian Civil Service, now IAS. A Tamilian came to me. He was already a septuagenarian at that time. I was a 35-year-old young Turk. I kept on telling him, don't do this, don't do that, that, and all that. He said, stop, doctor. When you ask me to do something, I will agree. If you ask me, don't do this, you please tell me to stop breathing. You know, he opened my internal eyes. The second thing he said was, do you have diabetes? I got angry. I am a 35-year-old, very energetic person. You're asking me I'm a diabetic? No, I am not. You know what he said? He said, you do not know much about diabetes. You may have a degree, but live with diabetes, you will know a whole story. And I, since then, have changed my gears of how to look at my patient who sits in front of me and have made a concept called as KISS principle. Sorry, Swamiji, it's not whatever that we are talking about. KISS stands for keep it simple, stupid. Who is the stupid? The doctor, not the patient. We should keep it simple for the patient. They can take care of themselves. Since then, the KISS principle I have followed is only 3: diet, exercise, and stress. Let me start with stress. How many of you know how to define stress? For every word, stress is, "Ayyo, tala kettoytappa, I'm sorry, blah, 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 blah." But let me tell you, in medicine, stress is defined as any internal response to whatever stimulus. Whatever stimulus, good song, bad song, screaming, internal response, how you respond to it. So I keep asking, once upon a time, when I came to know about this, I would ask my patient, invariably a male, "Do you love your wife?" "What are you talking, sir? I love my wife," because she was sitting by the side. "Do you love your children?" "Yes, sir." "Do you think it is stress?" "No, sir." But let me tell you, whether you love or hate, you are going through stress. If you love, you go through good stress. If you hate, you go through bad stress. How do you manage stress now? Start liking what you do. Start loving people in and around you. You will change the bad stress into good stress. It's very easy to speak, to do it difficult. Right. Exercise. Many of my patients think exercise means 3,000 rupees shoes, 5,000 rupees track suit, 10 miles drive in a car, walk for 10 kilometers, go and eat 2 masala dosas. Ashwini? It's very simple. All you have to do is, Rajkumar on haadu helidare, kai kotre ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಕಾಲು ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. All you have to do is walk. Wherever you are, you have a dirty knicker around, stand up and walk. You know, especially middle-aged females who are my patients, I tell them, "Do you see TV?" "Oh yes sir, 6:30 ಮೇಲೆ ಕೂತು ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಎದ್ದೇಳೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್." All you have to do is put your TV, don't sit, watch your favorite 30-minute serial or 1 hour 2 serials, walk. Isn't it easy? You don't have to spend money. You can do your 30-40 minutes of exercise every day. Need not be in front of the TV, wherever you can. That's the second simple concept, KISS principle. Diet. It's very, very simple. 3 questions you answer yourself. When to eat, what to eat, how much to eat. Finished. For heaven's sake, for God's sake, please do not Google different types of diet. You Google A to Z, you get A to Z. You get confused. I am confused. Simple concept of diet is, it's region specific, ethnic specific. You ask a Gauda not to eat meat, Ucha, he walks out. You ask a, Gauda got my drift. Make it region specific. ಮಂಡ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ರಾಗಿ ತಿನ್ನಬೇಕು, ನನ್ನ ಕಲರ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಡೆಲ್ಲಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಚಪಾತಿ ತಿನ್ನಬೇಕು. That's what my Swamiji used to tell me. Okay? When to eat, be very, very, very careful. Do not listen to anybody. Your breakfast should be within 1.5 hours of wake up. Your dinner should be at least 12 hours away. Do not believe Americans who have a breakfast at 7, dinner by 7. We cannot do that. Early breakfast, a little bit late dinner is done. One lunch in middle is fine. What to eat? Don't bother. What not to eat is very important. I tell my patients, no sugar, no jaggery, less oil, more vegetables, a little bit of carbohydrates. More vegetables, little less of carbohydrates, very little oil, and 0 sugar. That's it. I'll stop here. Finally, the quintessence of BGS Talx. Swamiji asked us to do it. I was just a small part of it. Dr. Chakravarti and the rest, Naveen, they have taken the lead and done a lot of work for us. The tagline is inspire to aspire. Inspire to aspire. How many of you want to become a great police officer like Honorable Alok. How many of you want to have, I cannot say medal in Olympics, at least represent India in Olympics? This is it. They are here to inspire. Can you imagine meeting Ashwini anywhere else? And multitude of people meeting her at the same time and getting at least 50 minutes of her time? My God. This is the quintessence of BGS Talx. I'll stop here. Jai Shri Guru.